Hi, it's William Rupenthal for DSF 2017, and I'm showing off my final project, which is the elevator circuit controller. So right now I'm going to actually turn on the power supply for the elevator, and then the circuit, because this is to demonstrate what the initial conditions are. So you can see the elevator here is in between levels, and it's around floor 3. So when we turn this on, it's going to default assume that the current floor, I guess it should be defaulting to 0, and the target floor is going to also default to 0. Yeah, so it's not moving at all. Now if I tell it I want to go to floor 3, which is above where it is, or actually, whatever. Tell it I want to go to floor 3, so I'll press the input button down here. Then it's going to go up, and it finds floor 3, and now we're all happy. The display is now 3. So we're going to just move it around a bit. So we want to go back down to like 0. You can see the display is going to update as it moves. And then I've got the LEDs here showing the actual state, which is the same as the up or down commands. So down is this left one. And now we're down on floor 0. So we can drive it up to one of the higher floors. It looks like it's going to be like 11. And the elevator will slowly make its way up. And then I'm going to have to turn off the circuit for a sec to test a few of the edge cases. Although we can actually do one while it's still on, since there's actually only 15 floors in that, so it only goes up to floor 14. So since I actually have a floor 16 button, it can try and go up, and we'll hit the limit switch, and we'll see how it deals with that in a sec once it stops. So there we go, it's at floor 11, and you can see that our LED display updated with that. So now I guess I'll drive it up to 15, and we'll see what happens. So the floor elevator is going to get up to 14, and we keep going, obviously, and there it gets stopped at the limit switch. And so the circuit still thinks it's at floor 14 because that's the last sensor it passed, understandably. So if you try to press the button for floor 14, nothing is going to happen. Although it was still trying to go up until then because it hadn't reached 15 yet, just that the power supply stops it. And since we don't actually get that limit switch output from the PCB, there's not really much else that can be done. So if we want to get out of this state, we'll have to go back down to floor 13, and then you'll see that it moves back down, and we know where we are again, so we can go up to 14 if we wish. And now we're up at 14. So the other case, I'm going to have to turn the circuit off so it doesn't fight me, is if we move the elevator down so that we're below floor 0. Well, we're getting some trouble because of the leaking power from the common ground, I assume? Yeah, pull that out. Actually, that was being silly. Much smarter to just disconnect the inputs and outputs. Okay, so it's defaulting to floor 15 is the current now. I don't think it was doing that before. Could be from some lingering state information that was in there. So, if we bring the elevator all the way down, which is going to take a little while, we're going to end up starting below floor 0. It doesn't really matter if we're at the limit switch or not, I guess. Just need to go below the sensor. So yeah, if we drive it all the way down, there's no way to select going below 0. It always stops there, which I can demonstrate in a sec, since I probably shouldn't just be making declarations. Yeah, we'll see. So, actually it was aware that our current floor is 0, so I'm gonna actually, and now it's going back up to some other target. Oh, it didn't quite make it to floor 1, so we're stuck in limbo now because I told it to go to 0 and it thinks it's still at 0. So that is one interesting issue. But yeah, so it took it up to 1 and back down to 0, and as you can see, it stops way at the top or bottom of that cardboard thing. It's never gonna like miss and go past the 0 floor because this elevator is just not moving fast enough. But if I turn that off and see if I can bring it back down again, there we go. So that was hitting the bottom limit switch. And now if we put the circuit on, tell it to go to 0, obviously nothing happens. Tell it to go to 1 though, it knows it's below that, and it'll head back up. And you can see we're up at 1. So I'll just run a couple more floor changes. And there we go. Stop at 4. Still properly keeping track of that. And we'll take it back to 0 to finish off. And there we go. And you can see the funny thing is that the only logic for the circuit is actually this one AND gate here that is updating the states. The rest of this is all just, these are 8-bit flip-flops that are storing, or that are taking the input from the buttons and syncing it up. Then it goes into the priority encoders and the AND gate so that you can get your floor. That gets stored over here, another 8-bit flip-flop with the current floor. And these are the multiplexers that switch it into the comparator, that's the AND gate, and your final multi register that pulls the actual state data. And this is just the stuff to take your current floor and process that into decimal for the BCDs, for the 7-segment displays. So yeah, that's about it. I'm going to end it here.